Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Today's guest is one that we've seen once or twice before, but he has this powerful logo, and how can we resist? It is Allan, the Comic Collector Geek. How are you doing tonight, Allan?
Good. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, really. I'm just glad to see that everything's looking pretty good for you. You're feeling better a bit these days, and I'm glad to hear that.
So.
Yeah, I know, but you're still better than you were before.
Yeah, it could be worse. Yeah.
So tonight, everybody, just a quick reminder that we're going to. I've changed the number on my subscribers giveaway to 529 in honor of Adventure Comics.
Oh,
and
nice.
We're going to go from there. We're at 471 as of today, so that's only 59 away, guys. We are actually 58 away.
You're climbing really fast in terms of your subscriber rate. I think of other channels like that took forever to get to like even 400, like my channel. It took forever to get there.
So well, I've been lucky. I've had a lot of friends who've been very nice helping me out. You've helped me out because you probably didn't have an Allan to help you get started. So
no, not really. Yeah,
and actually, it was mentioned on a couple of live streams this week that you were not involved with. How much you have actually influenced a lot of people to start channels.
Oh yeah, sorry, you cut out there for a second. I'm not sure if my internet's 100%, so hopefully I'm not freezing on you. Am I freezing?
No, you're not freezing.
Okay, so
everybody, if Allan freezes, let us know. But what I was saying is,
that'd be kind of an ironic kind of situation.
Yeah, what I've done was I've watched a few live streams this week, and that you were not involved with, obviously, and people were mentioning out there how much they like your channel. And how much that you've offended? Sorry, not offended. That you've
I offend everybody. So I'm used to that, so it's
how you inspire people to do their own channels. That's the word.
Yeah. Okay, good. I inspire people.
I mean, honestly, if I hadn't met you, I don't think I'd be doing this. And I'm talking about in person, not just talking back and forth.
Yeah. I tried to encourage you to do the channel thing.
I mean, like, if you hadn't convinced me, actually, my daughter and my wife were pushing me towards doing that first interview with you back in the day. I wouldn't have necessarily been there. All right,
what did we show in the first interview?
I brought over a bunch of books that I wanted to show.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I did an interview on your channel as well once.
Yeah, well, we did the interview about your Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take a moment to say hello to the chat before we get really into it. Hi, Eric. Hi, Andreas K. Munin. Hi, Celia Gotham and Glam. Hi, Steve. Then there's this guy. Hi, Steve.
Slender Monkeys.
Hey, Blood Force Comics. Welcome to the show. A1063.
If a slab falls down behind me, just don't mind me. I'm a bit paranoid that it's going to fall down.
IJSS. Hi, Mike. Well, we got a few. Hi, Monty.
Oh, wow.
It's good to see you tonight. All right. So, Allan, tonight we've had a discussion, and Allan's going to show us some of his pre-code horror books today.
I brought a ton.
He brought a ton, apparently. So without further ado, we're doing things a little different tonight. We're going to go right to Allan and let Allan show off some books and fire away with any comments and questions.
Yeah, so I just grabbed some stuff. I realize I have way too many things to grab in terms of comics. Other things might be disturbing. Okay, so I'm going to show you some Eerie. And the reason I'm showing this one is Eerie is the title from Avon that kind of led to the very first pre-code horror comic. Eerie #1 is the very first pre-code horror comic. But it was a different series. So it was like a one-shot almost. And then it became like a regular series later. So this is
Do you know the series that it was before?
It was just called Eerie. It was Eerie
Okay.
#1, and then
All
it
right.
became they made another series.
That
If
now
you
I get what
watch
you're
my
saying.
next big unboxing, I show that book. I was debating about showing it tonight, but we'll see. If you guys want to see it, I might show it. Okay, so that's Eerie #3, and this is my favorite of the Eerie ones. I kind of like this one a lot.
Okay, that one is cool. I don't
It's
think you've
like
shown that one before.
the
That
girl.
was,
I think there's something about her that catches my eye.
of course, Lyle. Don't we
This is
all
the
have
Eerie
that one?
17. What? You
You
guys
said
all have it? I
Lyle
figured
said
you guys had it.
Lyle said I
So,
have that one.
so this is actually the last issue in the series. So Eerie's
Nice.
actually interesting. So because one second, let's see if I have. I don't have it, of course. I brought. But they recycle the girl on Eerie books. So this girl that you see here, they kind of recycle her. They kind of have her like sometimes on the left, sometimes on the right, sometimes it's just the exact same image, and then they change her hair color. It's like really weird how they do that. But
okay, what's the company there again? Avon, you said?
that's Avon. That's Avon.
Yeah. Avon had the reputation of, if I've read on a couple of websites, it's not just, and maybe even in a book, Avon had the reputation for tracing.
Oh, really?
To push
I
out
can see that.
to push the product out faster.
Yeah, so but they had some really great artists working on the books. They had like Wally Wood and a bunch of really good artists. Here's another pre-code horror one that I like. This is Tales of Terror. It's only it changes the name immediately. I think it's Horror Tales. Like they change it or Tales. Yeah, I think it's Horror Tales. Does it say? No. But this is #1, and then it immediately changes the name afterwards.
That is
But
one thing I have to say. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What were we going to say?
I find that the hardest part about the Golden Age is keeping up with all the name changes.
Yeah, I mean, they did it a lot, right? And they would, you get a lot of issues where it's like number 10, and it's like it's the first issue of the series, right? But I like this one because it reminds me of like so many of the old black and white movies where they go into the crypt and there's like somebody lying on the table or something like that. So this is a Jean Fawcett cover, another great artist. Not sure why this one. So this is one of those ones where it's an interesting one. So this is like Ellery Queen. Okay. This is #4. Yeah, #4. Actually reasonably high grade, by the way.
That doesn't look very horror, but I'm just curious.
So okay, the reason I'm showing this, it is actually crime/horror. It's kind of a weird one. So if you look at this one, if you can, I'll zoom in here. Do you see the guy? It's like a wolf man in the window.
Okay, yes, now that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yes, I
so it's kind of a weird one.
When you hold it there, I can't see it.
Yeah, you just think it's like a standard crime,
exactly.
like crime or detective kind of book, right?
Time to pull out the magnifier.
Yeah, so sorry that it's that way, but this one will definitely give you the feeling of horror.
Yes, now those are interesting.
This is my favorite cover of the run. You can see how much I paid. That's not actually how much I paid. It's just the bag. So this is a 1.0, and it's like I got it cheaper than that. I negotiated, but
that particular cover looks better than the grade. So yeah. I mean that one looks really good.
So this is one where it's a 1.0 because if you look, I gotta take it out of the plastic so you guys can properly see it. But if you look along the edge, you can see how there's like a tape that goes along the edge.
Yes.
So it's one of those ones where I love this kind of grade, where the cover itself is actually really, really solid, but it's a complete spline split. And therefore you get a 1.0 or a really low grade. And it's like so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper. In high grade, this is a much more brutally expensive.
I worry about spine splits if I have a raw copy.
You know,
I tend to not order them if I see that. That's one of the few things that I'm worried about losing the covers.
well, yeah, the covers will fall off. That's why there's so many coverless copies. The weird thing is, like, there's certain books where even when they're not like necessarily old or falling apart, they will just naturally split. The spine will naturally split. There's a series from Warren Publishing that was like that. It was called Help, and
Right.
even like high grade copies, like the spine would split. Is the most annoying thing. Um, but yeah, so but it's a nice way to get books cheaply that present really, really well.
Apparently, you're frozen for Eric Casagrande.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Hopefully
But you're
not.
not frozen for me, so
As long as I'm not frozen for you, I'm going to assume that you are the standard that I have to,
yeah.
go by. Okay, yeah.
Although to
I
be
don't know.
honest,
These are totally out of order. It drives me nuts.
mhm,
Okay. So I was showing some Erie, and I was like, where are the other Eries? It doesn't make sense. So this is the girl I was talking about that they kind of traced.
yes.
This is a Wally Wood cover. Well, it doesn't say that, but it is.
The thing is, a wood probably doesn't trace necessarily, but I mean, they hired people at Avon and at what's his name, Eisner Studios, to
Eisner
do
Studios.
backgrounds only. So they were like, that was really kind of more like a car line, where their assembly line, where they were doing this.
Yeah, you'll see this exact same girl on some of the other covers for the. I mean, very pretty girl actually, so I don't mind it too much. But
Steve,
we're
can you
both frozen
comment?
now.
Okay,
It's like,
Steve, can you comment if everything's good? Because we're not having issues with the freezing here, so we're not aware.
We're only 25% freezing.
That's right.
So I don't know. I like this cover. It's kind of a cool one. Cool series.
Well,
Anthology.
Hollywood did.
Yeah, these are all anthology series. Most horror books are. Where they're like short stories that are kind of cool. But you'll see this next series, another Wally Wood one.
Eric Casagrande wants to know what's the issue that second Ellery Queen was.
Oh, that's issue number 1. I'm pretty sure. I can double check. One sec here. Yeah, Ellery Queen number 1.
Yeah, see, that is a cool cover.
It's really cool. I like these ones where it's like the evil hand and the frail, right? And you'll notice like sort of a common theme with the pre-code horror books that I have, that even though they're horror titles, they have good girl art elements to them. Like that's
right.
Like very much me thing. Like pretty much all of them are like that. Look, same idea. Good girl plus horror. And that was something that did happen. Like the atomic age of comics, which is like 1945 to 1960, it's kind of that range. Really, the things that kind of came out during that were like Good Girl, crime, and horror. Good Girl kind of got kind of disappeared by the end of the 40s, but the Good Girl art elements kind of went into every other genre.
Yeah, so, because at this point, the superheroes were on their way out.
Yeah, well, the superheroes are gone by this point. This is this is 1954, so the superheroes are gone. Like there's nobody really into superheroes. It's really horror, crime, and romance were big at this point.
Didn't war pick up around then too, after Korea?
Yeah, so there was like a lot of like the you got like Frontline and all those ones that were kind of big. Yeah, so that was the other title that was really popular with war at that time, and westerns too.
It didn't hurt horror and sci-fi that 1950 to 54 was EC's era.
Yeah, it really was. EC was kind of the dominant thing. Actually, I brought my whole collection of EC books too.
Oh, I love EC. I'm glad.
So yeah, so I'll probably show that at some point. Here's another strange. This is another one from Superior, which is a Canadian one. This is kind of a notorious book. It's one of the few that were actually banned. There's like a list of 5 books that were banned in the U.S.
Right.
And this is one of them. This because it has the orgy of the dead.
Excuse me.
So it's just kind of a cool book. I don't know if you're into skinny guys, maybe. I don't know.
Well, you got a bone to pick with someone. It's good to see them.
Yeah. So that's why that was kind of a banned book. But I really like Strange Mysteries. It's a Canadian, it's a Canadian one.
Did you ever read that book? I'm asking
one?
because the one you just showed, the one with the orgy
Orgy of the Dead.
The dead, yes.
I'm not sure if I've read it. To tell you the truth, I've read this one that I'm about to show.
No, I'm just curious because, was it tame?
I
was going to ask you if it was tame or
Yeah, I know it's.
Was it the word that?
If it's the one the problem is, I'll read like a bunch of books all at once.
Right.
And I never know which which one corresponds to which thing because I read it online, right?
Yeah.
In a weird way, because it's not that tangible comic in your hand, it doesn't really make that connection the way. So you're not you don't really associate it directly to the comic cover. Do you know what I mean?
See, that's what it does. The cover. If I've read it, no. If the cover. If I've read it, you don't seem to be freezing here.
Matt, are you there?
I am.
My internet.
No. Oh, no.
Are you there?
No, I find, yes, I am. Hi.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if I'm by myself or what's going on.
Okay.
I can see, let's see what the chat's saying.
The cover, well, Steve says it's good
Am I good? Guys, in the chat, you can tell me if I'm good.
Steve says it's good now.
Okay, well.
Yeah. And Hollyat says
no freezing. I think we lost Matt, though.
Thanks, Nate.
I don't hear Matt.
You don't hear me at all?
So, yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay. So, I don't hear Matt. I don't know what's going on with Matt. Matt's disappeared again. This is the kind of fun thing that happens with me and Matt. So, are you there, Matt?
I am here.
Okay. I was worried about you. So, I was just saying, sometimes I forget what I read in terms of which book corresponds to which book, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because when you read online, you don't. Sometimes you don't even look at the cover. Do you know what I mean? You just read the content. So sometimes I will. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I read that Orgy of the Dead one, but yeah, I did read the second one that I showed.
What I like about covers, can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're fine now.
Okay. All right. What I like about the covers is if I've read the book, I can look at the cover and remember what the story is usually, at least with the older books.
I wish I had.
By older, I mean I mean pre-rebirth.
Yeah,
because there's too many cover variants that don't always suggest what's in the book. I couldn't tell you what this is a Tana, for example. It's I've read it, but I don't remember exactly what was in it. So
yeah. If the cover doesn't reflect it, it's hard to remember. I'm going to show you a couple more Strange Mysteries. I really like the series. I like these. This is so typical of the Golden Age, like the girl with the red dress, in distress kind of thing. This one has a bunch of little cool elements to it that I really like. You got the hatchet in the background, like the knight in suit of armor kind of thing, maybe, and then you got this mirror that's kind of grabbing the girl's dress, which is kind of fun.
Okay, we have a question from Zombie God 3033.
Okay,
he wants to know, what are some of your favorite heavy metal issues?
So I'm a big fan of Simon Beasley. And he did a series in heavy metal. And I don't know why. I always forget the name of the series. Blood something. Blood something. What if I just think about it? But
Mm-hmm.
but it's a really cool series. It's like a Western zombie series. Like, so this
Nice.
girl, this really buxom girl, basically goes to this zombie town, like a ghost town, and there's zombies there. There's werewolves there, not werewolves, vampires there, and they're kind of battling it out.
Right.
And then she's sort of in the middle of this kind of takeover of this town, and there's a few town folk that are still living there that kind of help her out, but she never speaks. The girl never speaks, and it's like kind of a cool story where they kind of build up the whole premise of what's going on with this town. That this town is kind of like it's kind of like a tourist trap, but the tourists
Right.
are basically food for the two rival groups that are
Yeah.
gonna feed off them.
I think that there's a good chunk of EC stories that are that plot
Mm-hmm.
where the guy comes to town and he's a werewolf, only he's fighting or the werewolf marries the vampire, both thinking they can eat the other,
Yeah.
and that kind of sort of thing too. Those are some of my
Blood
favorite
and
stuff.
something, blood and guts or something. I'm not sure what it's called. Blood and something.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't remember. I can't believe I forgot. I actually bought all they actually reprinted it in a comic, and they actually did a trade thing of it. It's really well
Nice.
done. It's all Simon Beasley. I really like Simon Beasley. So, but at the end, the twist is that the girl, when she speaks, she's like a siren.
Oh yes, I think you've mentioned this
I
story
really like
before.
that story. I really like that story. I thought
Yep.
it was cool. So yeah, so she basically can, but she's like a gunslinger, up till then. I just realized this bag is toast. Okay. And here's some more kind of
Oh,
cool.
nice. Now, what's the creature in the foreground? That's from a back. So it's from the back. So
He's kind of like a ghoul, I would say.
okay, those are cool.
Yeah. So
Now that you say that, it actually does look like the D&D ghoul that I used to have the little miniature. Yeah.
I'm
Now that you say that.
like in terms of monsters, I would memorize all the Fiend Folio and all the monster manuals.
I have the original Fiend Folio, not too far from here. Yeah.
I have all the first editions.
Yeah, me too.
Well, because I bought them when they came out. It wasn't that I was collecting them or anything. I just bought them when they came out.
My monster manual, I bought that before my wife was born.
Before your wife was born?
Yeah, because it came out in 79. Well, my wife is 10 years. She's born 10 years after me.
Oh, wow.
She's 10 years
that's
younger.
Nice. That's always
I
good.
bought it in 79 and my wife was born in 81.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. I played Basic way back like in the 70s.
You played what, sorry?
Basic.
Oh yeah, I have the basic.
And I have the expert one as well. Like the red and the blue. Like
I had the whole series of the red, blue. They call it they actually have a name for it. They call it BECME because it's basic BECME because it's basic, expert, companion.
Oh, okay.
Companion, so I had all those masters, and immortals. So they call it BECME. They actually.
All right. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show, I'm just showing random books here. This is very disorganized in terms of how I brought these books, but we'll kind of go with it. I'm going to show you actually.
You know how high quality this TV show is, right?
Yeah. I'm going to show you one of my favorite titles from Fiction House. And this title is just really good because it's all Maurice Whitman art. It's really, it's only, and it's an easy run to complete in terms of number of issues.
Nice.
It's only 6 issues, so it's easy. It's a small run, and it's a cool one. It's Ghost Stories or Ghost Comics.
Ghost Comics.
Ghost Comics. I mean Ghost Comics. Okay. I corrected myself. This is my favorite of the run. It's kind of like a lingerie cover. And I've actually read these. The sad thing is this doesn't happen in the story. This is not in the story, which is kind of disappointing. Yeah, it's not all. It's not.
So that is an actual ghost in the back, or is that just?
Yeah, so all of them have like this kind of ghost-like character in the backgrounds, and then I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can see his hand. And
yes,
kind of manipulating strings. And then what he's manipulating are all these like little versions of the girl. You can see them there, right? and it's like he's controlling her dreams. He's like a nightmare haunting her mind.
Yeah.
Oh, it has wait more than 6. Oh, what am I thinking? Yeah, he's right. It's actually 11 issues. I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I had to think about it. I was thinking 6 is the big one that everyone
Right.
collects. I'll show you 6. I actually brought the rest of them as well. I brought my box of pre-code horror. But yeah, 6 is the big one. That's why the 6 came in my
Right.
mind. But I think it's only 11 issues. I think it's 11 issues. Pretty sure about that. But it's
Nice.
still a short run compared to like Planet or like Rangers or some of the other titles that ran like 80 issues, or like what's it called? Jumbo ran like over 100 issues, like 160 issues or something crazy. So, it's a fairly short run to get. So I managed to pick up the whole series. But again, you can see the ghost in the background. You can just kind
Yes.
of see his eyes.
Yes. From a distance, it's hard for me to see. The others who are in the audience might have a better
Yeah, you
idea.
can
But
sort of see him there.
as you bring it closer, I do see it. So
Yeah, that's the cool thing about this title. It has like this weird ghost guy that's kind of always there. That's the name of the comic, right?
right.
But yeah, all the cover art is done by Maurice Whitman.
Which would explain why DC got just Ghosts. Nobody actually named a book Ghosts before. I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the sort of the way around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, a lot of these ones, once the golden age ended, I think a lot of the titles were available, right? You just couldn't do it as there was rules around the Comic Code Authority where you couldn't say certain things. You couldn't say the word weird. You couldn't say the word eerie as a title. Like you couldn't use those titles just because of the Comic Code Authority. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true. I mean, the Terror and all those other ones, but obviously they got over it because we had weird war tales later and weird adventures.
Yeah. That was later. So that was sort of like that was what really marks the Bronze Age, is that the Comic Code Authority was people were kind of going across it a bit more, where they're not really.
I think we have Marv Wolfman to thank for that, because did you ever hear the story about Marv Wolfman?
No.
His name? Well, the Comic Code Authority sent back the first book that Marv Wolfman ever worked on, because at the time they couldn't put Wolfman in a comic. And he had to send,
you told me that story before.
yes, and he had to send his identification over to prove that his actual name was Marv Wolfman. So they had to make
you
a
can't
change.
use the word Wolfman.
That's right.
It's so stupid.
So they had to change some of the code because this was the guy's name.
Yeah. So I mean, that's that's where the code kind of goes too far in a way.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to show you a title. There's a few titles that are actually really under the radar in terms of price. They're very affordable. Like usually when I think of pre-code horror, I think of pretty expensive, like in the hundreds, if not the dollars kind of level.
And to be honest,
there
I think most people think that because of the books that are big are the ones that get all the the attention, so to speak, and those are expensive books like Crime Super Suspense Stories 22 or the one with the Misfits title, the Misfits cover there.
Yeah. That's
Chamber of
Chills 19. I'll show that in a minute, but I'm going to show you some that are affordable, because I always think it's important that people realize that you can actually afford some of these books. They're not like all crazy expensive. This one is semi-expensive, but it's like hundreds of dollars, like hundreds rather than thousands, if that makes sense. Like low hundreds instead of high thousands. This is Weird Worlds, Adventures into Weird Worlds. And this is one from Marvel, actually, or Atlas Comics at the time.
Yeah, with the little star on there. Is that
so the little star is the early Comic Code Authority. It's the magazine. Wait, what does it stand for? It's like,
is it CMA, Comic and Magazine Authority?
Comic and Magazine Publishers stamp or something. I forget what the first letter is. Isn't it R?
Could
But
be.
yeah.
I can't see from here. So
Yeah. Well, I can't either. People in the chat maybe can read it. I can't read it that small. But yeah, just a
if
really cool
anybody knows the name of that organization, pop it in the chat, please.
I'm pretty sure it's RCMP.
RCMP is Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah, wait, maybe that's where I'm getting that from. Or maybe it's American Comic Magazine Publishers, maybe something like that.
That sounds like it because it certainly wasn't.
Maybe it's A. I think it's A. See, this is where my brain works. Like I get mixed up between things. RCMP
Okay,
and
Lyle says it's ACMP. Yes, you were right.
I thought so. I thought I had to go. Yeah.
Thanks, Big Lyle.
Yeah, so it's American Comics and Magazine Publishers or something like that.
And here we got.
So this is another one from again from Marvel or Atlas,
right?
Or Timely in this case. Timely.
I was going to say I don't think they have the Atlas thing. It's too early for Atlas. I think that was 50.
This is 1951.
Yeah.
Whereas Atlas is more like 53, I think, when it came in. So yeah, so this is again very affordable. I think I paid like $100 for this. It's a 6.5.
Okay, that is good price. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, it's not that expensive to get into some of these, and I think it's a fairly cool cover. It's got sort of that you know how Marvel went into like doing those like Tales of Suspense, Tales to Astonish. It kind of had like that kind of those weird, creepy stories kind of thing. Kind of has that feel to me. But it also is a pre-code horror title.
I find that if you're familiar with the character, the guy in is that the Grim Reaper in the yellow?
Yeah, I think he'd be a Grim Reaper, but you got a whole bunch of them. These hooded figures.
Because they look more like Time Trappers than Grim Reapers.
maybe.
I mean, Time
trapped
Trappers.
in time. Maybe that's what it is.
You know,
there's no escape when you are trapped in time.
Which would actually make that predated by at least 10 years.
Yeah, this Time Trapper. Yeah, so you never know. Again, I think I paid only about $100 for this next one. And this is Mystic. Another, I think this is Atlas. Yeah, Atlas.
Right.
Mystic 27. I mean, this is really cool. This is a motif that's been used many times where you got the skeletons or some kind of monster saying, pushing people into their graves, right? Where it's his and hers, right? Sometimes it's like an empty grave, and then you see like the tombstone will have the character's name on it or something like that.
Yeah, and in this case, it's his and hers.
Yeah, which is kind of nice. Who walks with the zombie? And, it's a pretty great, like things that you want to look for when you're buying pre-code horror are these kind of skeletons and stuff like that, or something that's a little bit grotesque.
If it's Lee Elias.
This one is Sal Brodsky. So
he drew. Brodsky. I always thought he was just an editor. Wow.
Sal Brodsky cover. This next one I really like, and I really like Adventures into Weird Worlds. It's got a lot of really good girl art covers, and this is one I really like. I like this one where she's kind of a skeleton putting on her face for the date.
That's nice.
Literally putting on her face.
Yeah.
It's kind
that
of
would be hilarious.
I think this is Russ Heath, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Russ Heath cover.
I haven't seen a lot of Russ Heath myself. I know that I'm familiar with the name, but I haven't seen a lot of his actual art. That's pretty cool.
That's some pretty great stuff. I believe it's. I think a bunch of the next ones I'm showing are all. This is Bill Everett actually. The next one is Russ Heath though. This is another Mystic.
Nice.
I like covers where it's kind of like these corpse brides, or like. Yeah, this one I really like. It's like the groom is headless, and then you got a corpse bride, and then you got this like regular couple that's like freaked out by it. It's kind of a funny one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice looking one.
Yeah.
That particular theme was done a few times in 70s Bronze Age horror, where the guy's carrying the corpse of the bride, or.
And so here's another. As I was saying, I really like Russ Heath. I think his covers are quite good. Look, here's another Russ Heath.
Yes, that is beautiful. She's from where I'm sitting. She looks like a Marilyn Monroe type.
Very much so.
She's got the hairstyle
And
and
the
and the
clothing.
chest.
Yeah, and the chest.
Yeah.
It's like these weird tentacle monsters.
And this would be the era too. This would be when she was with Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah. So this is a Russ Heath cover. Again, it's another one that's ACMP coded.
Nice.
But again, like that was one of those codes that nobody really followed. It doesn't really mean anything.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong here on this, but didn't only like a couple of publishers really sign up for that one?
Yeah, even EC signed up for it.
I don't remember ever seeing DC Comics have that logo, so I'm not sure if DC joined.
I'm not sure if I've seen it on a DC book. I know Marvel, or Timely, whatever you want to call it, signed up for it. I know that EC signed up for it at one point, but didn't really. They were one of the first to not follow it. There was a few.
I don't know if this is a serious question or not, but K Munin wants to know if that was the first hentai.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. That's where tentacle porn comes from. That one cover. Yeah. So. And then another great series. Like these are all really affordable. Like I mean, in that $100 to couple $100 range. Kind of, this one might be a little more expensive. This is Mystery Tales.
Oh God! Wow.
So yeah. So I don't know. I really like these ones. I think this. I like
the movie house horror.
Yeah, movie house horror. He's coming out of the screen, right? And so is she.
Yes, and I just read a book like that.
Oh, really?
Trying to think which. Oh, yeah. Yes, it's got to be here. I literally read one like in the last couple days, something like that, where the guy came out of the screen. It was a reprint. It was one of the older books.
Oh, okay.
Like it was a reprint.
So this is another Russ Heath cover, by the way. So Russ Heath, you'll notice a theme of Russ Heath covers in these ones. Another Russ Heath one. I think Stephen just recently showed this actually, and he had a nicer grade, but so I was the one that kind of mentioned it to him.
The Thing in the Mirror.
I mean, I just like the girl on it. It's just very headlighty.
I have that problem every morning. I see the thing in the mirror.
The thing in the mirror. That's neat. So yeah. Yeah, but this one is kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of when they do this kind of side paneling thing. I wish they would just expand out the whole image. But some of the side panels are actually kind of cool as well. If you look at them. Some weird.
Freddy's friend. Who's Freddy's friend? It says on the side.
Friend. Yeah. Freddy's friend is a robot that looks like it's about to attack him. So yeah. So another Russ Heath cover. A really affordable series. I kind of mentioned this one. Is and again, this is like under $100. Is like
Strange Suspense Stories.
And this one's kind of cool. You got this headless dude. I think headless covers are kind of cool.
Okay, there, Nate.
Oh, what is he saying?
Raise the mirror to face level and you won't see the thing, Matt.
Wow. Okay. Oh. Okay, so yeah.
That's a good one, but where's the head? Is it disappeared or just not there? Or
what does it say? I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll never know. He's lost his head and he's trying to find it. He'll borrow hers though, don't worry.
He's heels over head for her, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Another one from the same title. This is a Steve Ditko cover. This is one of the more expensive ones from the title.
Yeah, I've seen you show this one before. This is still
a big book. That's why I show it. Yeah. I always give myself a thumbs up. I always give myself a thumbs up. So. But this is one of the bigger ones in the run. These electrocution covers are always.
Ben wants to know: are these books super rare because we never see them?
They're reasonably rare, like census counts of like 20, maybe. if that makes it rare or not, I'm not sure. Another series that I really like, I've been trying to get the full run of, is Weird Mysteries.
Oh, now that is a weird looking cover.
Yeah, it's got like a
Fabulously
cyclops.
weird. Okay, it's a cyclops. Okay, I was wondering where the eye. Okay, there
and
we
you
go.
got this weird like skeleton dude on the side there.
I think I like this cyclops better than the X-Men.
This is what I always think of Cyclops as being more like this kind of creature. So that's like, I don't know. She's just like so into her work that she doesn't even notice the guy coming up behind her. And I believe this is a Bernard Bailey cover. So he's kind of one of the known for his covers for pre-code horror. And so another Weird Mysteries.
Okay, so this guy looks like he's about to eat this human. Is that guy shooting a gun at it? Oh, okay, there's two people.
It's a couple, yeah. He's shooting the gun into the mouth. But it looks like they're going to get eaten up. So, yeah. And one sec here. Where did I put it? I guess. One sec here. I brought like so many things that it's hard to keep them all organized. There's one more Weird Mysteries. This is the one that was on my want list for a while. I really like I like decapitation covers. Like where like there's a severed head or something silly. I think that's just kind of cool. And I like magic covers. So this is kind of the combination of the two. Where you got like the magician pulling out the head from the hat, which is kind of fun. It's just a classic cover. And it's like a really low grade. Every time I tried to get this book, I just had the worst luck. People would want crazy money for it. And there was one time that I had where some guy had 2 copies and he sold them both for cheap. And it was like a claim sale. And he basically had 2 raw copies that were probably like good to very good range, maybe 3.0s. And what happened was he said, whoever wants these, just claim it and I'll sell it. And he had 2 copies and I was the 3rd person to claim. So I didn't get a copy, which is kind of sad. So yeah, just one, this one was on my want list for a while. I just been trying to pick it up for a long time and I was quite happy to get it finally last year. So that's Weird Mysteries. Another title, I've been showing a bunch of Superior comics. This is one that I really, really liked. I like these motifs where you got like a skeleton kind of doing something. This is Journey into Fear. And it's like the skeleton postman. He's like delivering the mail. This is what Canada Post looks like on a good day. I don't know. They're always like slow about delivering mail. So yeah, but so this is from Superior Comics, 1953. And I'm not sure. I wish the one thing about these books is they don't say who the artist is. Like I recognize like a similar style in a lot of these Superior comics, but it never says who the artist is. And I think it was the Iger House that was doing the work for them. The Iger House is a packager that would basically produce artwork for other companies. And but a lot of the time they would just kind of, it'd almost be like an assembly line for artists. And a lot of them wouldn't get the credit for the artwork that they produced. But I thought this was such a cool cover. Really like the skeleton. Yeah, and the girl's like really surprised. So she's surprised. Oh, my mail. It finally came. Okay, so I'm going to show some bigger books. So these ones are all kind of like semi-expensive, but not super big. Another Superior that I really, really was happy to get was this one. This is Strange Mysteries again. Strange Mysteries number 11. It's just like a classic cover where you have the guy rising from the ground and he's like, hee, it's me, darling, calling from the grave. And you can hear and then you hear just on the other side of the line, it's like, just so cool. And the tombstone kind of gives like what the stories are inside, which is kind of fun. If the coffin fits, dial C for corpse, a date with the devil, a
Can you
recipe
see
for
me
horror.
now?
Yes, I
Can
can
you
see
see?
you now. Yep, you're
Sorry
good.
about that.
I was trying to keep
We,
it going while you were
yes, no,
while you were
thank you.
going.
We
While
lost
you
our
were done.
internet. We lost our internet, and then somebody reset it without telling me.
Oh, that's nice. Okay,
But
well.
I'm back.
So I
Okay.
was just showing my strange mysteries. These are I'm going to show some big books, just some
Okay.
big pre-code horror ones.
Thank you for
We
keeping
got
the show going.
yeah, and this is again I like these corpse brides one. Like he's
Yes.
dug up his dead wife kind of thing. And I think
Yeah,
it's
that
just such a creepy cover. The guy looks really
it is.
deranged, and it's just like it's like he's like holding her, and it's kind of romantic in a weird way, in a very creepy way.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another Bernard Bailey cover. As I said, he was kind of the one of the big guys for pre-code horror covers was Bernard Bailey. Like his covers generally have a little bit of a premium to them. One guy that actually, strangely, even though he's like produces some of the best covers for pre-code horror,
Right.
people don't really collect his covers for his name. So like Bernard Bailey covers, people actually kind of seek out his stuff. Matt Baker, Alex Schomburg,
Yes.
they will actually seek out those people's covers. Wally Wood is another one. But this guy, the next one that I'm going to show you, people don't really go out for, like, they don't know his name. It's not like his name is like that well recognized. It's a no name. It's like you'll know it once I say it,
Mm-hmm.
but it is one that I don't think people collect because it's this guy's name. They don't go out and find it because he's produced a lot of really great covers, and some of them are not really that expensive. So it's not like his name adds to the price, which is weird because I can think of at least 5 covers that are probably all his and are all top 10 pre-code horror covers, which is weird. So the guy is Lee Elias.
Yes.
And I just don't think people collect based on, it's a Lee Elias cover. I gotta get it.
Well, I think Steppo does, doesn't he?
Not
Steppo's.
necessarily, no.
Oh no,
No.
I thought he was a big Lee Elias fan.
I mean, I think he would be a fan of his, but I don't think people go out and seek out Lee Elias covers. Because the interesting thing about Lee Elias is he didn't just do horror, and probably he's best known for horror, but he did a lot of romance, and he did a lot, like he did Black Cat, which is another series that
Right.
he was involved with. But his stuff is, like some of the best pre-code horror covers. Like to me, this is the
No, I
number
know.
one.
This is one of the most classic
I would say this is
pre-code
number
horror.
one on the pre-code horror cover
I
list.
would think so too.
And it's a Lee
Have we
Elias
not
cover.
mentioned K Munin? Have we not mentioned who does this cover before? Because this is obviously not the first time Allan's shown the book, but I mean,
Yeah,
like,
it's Lee Elias. So Lee Elias
he's
did
also.
this one.
I knew that because he is credited on the Misfits album as well.
Okay, that's good.
Cover by Lee Elias. Like they put it. In fact, actually, Elias made some money off that. The family.
Okay, that's good. That's good because that record put. I think it was the Monster or was it the Misfits record?
It's the Misfits, and it was a single, but it sold a lot of copies because it was a very
And
popular.
what was it titled? What was the record title?
Shit.
Was it
Die.
Monsters or something like that?
Something to die. No, Monsters was a different.
Die.
Yeah, die. Yes, I think it is.
Or die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I had to think about it too. Okay. This is a Howard Nordstrom cover. Another just really cool one. Another name that most people probably wouldn't know, like, but just a classic cover. What did you say?
Well, as I said,
Leah,
he's saying he's not sure if if Lee Elias is known outside of pre-code horror.
Yeah, but he did a lot of pre-code, he did a lot of romance, and he did a lot of other stuff, and he was actually quite brilliant at that other stuff. Chamber of Chills 19 is a comic. It's actually not a bad read too. I read the stories inside. They were
now I'm going to have to do that.
Yeah, like the cover, like the one thing I really like is when the cover reflects what the story inside is. So the story of that one is it's like a girl kind of remembering their like how they came to become a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like thinking about, oh, honey, and she's preparing like a meal, preparing their anniversary meal because it's their wedding anniversary. And she's like, oh, when we first got together, you were such a scoundrel, like, and it seemed like you were only interested in me for my money. And, she catches him with another girl. She catches him like doing bad things, all, all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And he basically loses all his money and is kind of forced to marry her at the end of the day. Um, and then, but she said, but now that we're married, you are like the best husband. You are like the most loyal. Like I can always
Yeah.
trust you. I always think you're such a good husband. And then what they do is they show her bringing out the tray of stuff and she puts it on the table and then they as if if there's a camera
Yeah.
flip, you can see the guy and he's behind like a wine glass and stuff like that, and he's like a skeleton.
Yeah.
That's why
Well, he's not.
she poisoned him on the first day that they got married. So
Yeah.
it's a cool.
Similar to Psycho, where he keeps the mom in the room there.
Yeah, but he actually puts on the wig and stuff and does crazy things.
That is a little weird.
yeah. She didn't do that. She's not crazy.
Oh no, it's not crazy at all.
Okay, I'm gonna show you one more book and then I'll show some EC stuff. I figure I should show some EC because EC is kind of most associated to pre-code horror. But this is Weird Chills, another Bernard Bailey cover. And this is one of the more creepy ones.
Oh, yes, I've seen this one, yes.
I mean, the guy's literally getting his eyes poked. This one always reminds me of Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, which is hilarious because it's little gremlins that are doing it.
Yeah. For those who are not familiar with Clockwork Orange, it's there's a scene in Clockwork Orange where his eyes are like kept open so that he has to watch a movie.
I saw Malcolm McDowell at Ottawa Comic Con one year, and he actually said that hurt, and he had to do it for an hour. I guess
the contraption that they used to put those on was not at all like designed for safety or anything like that.
No, it was done reasonably safety. His eyes stayed wet, but he had to be stuck with that machine for an hour.
I heard that machine, if they slipped or did anything weird with it, that it would like rip his it could potentially rip his eye apart.
Yes, but they managed to keep his eyes wet. Like they kept spraying it like in between takes his eyes so that they wouldn't dry out. Mm-hmm. But he said it hurt a lot.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Like it was like a metal contraption. It was pretty brutal. Mm-hmm. But so those are some, and I'll just open up my EC box.
Eric Casagrande wants to know why Go Collect refer to Chamber of Chills as a magazine then.
Let me just grab it.
Is it its size perhaps?
No, it's not. I'll show it. One sec here.
Hi Chonko.
I want to show you this, so I had to zoom in. You see that?
Yeah, it just says magazine because that's the name. Like
that's the title of the book.
Chamber if I remember correctly, magazine. People called it a comic magazine in the publishing world, even though it was just a comic book.
It was just a comic book. It's just they put the magazine on it. The reason for that is there was at the time magazines were considered for adults. Comics were for kids. That's kind of the logic there. But didn't really work. Kids were still reading them anyways. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my EC collection. It's not all of my EC collection, but it's my some of my graded ones.
Yeah, we'll call this the grand finale.
Yeah, the grand finale. So we got Tales from the Crypt. This is Jack Davis cover, I believe. Yeah, Jack Davis.
I knew Jack Davis more from his Mad days at first, but then when I found out he did all these comics too, I was like, oh, cool.
You know, it's
You
funny.
know,
I actually think of him from the Mad Days too, and I was like, Jack Davis? Is that like I didn't even make the connection that they were the
yeah, he
same
was
Jack
one of the
Davis.
few people that stayed. Him and Feldstein and
Felstein and a bunch of them
Harvey
actually.
briefly, Harvey Kurtzman
Harvey
briefly.
Kurtzman stayed, yeah.
Yeah, who stayed when it turned into a magazine.
But
But
Harvey Kurtzman was there from day one, right? So he was.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
Kurtzman left 5 months, I think, after the magazine, like after it turned into a magazine to go work for Playboy.
yeah. But Kurtzman for a little while was the editor, and
Yeah,
then Kurtzman went over to Warren Publishing for a while, and he
yeah,
was the one that was doing Help magazine. So
that's true too. His
yeah.
little Annie Fannies there, I think, was
Oh, I
called there
like
for
Little Annie
Playboy.
Fanny. I actually have the very first appearance of Little Annie Fanny. I believe it's in Playboy from 1960, I believe.
Mm,
And then I have like the big giant size Annie Fanny
right.
comic thing. It's quite cool. I really liked Annie Fanny because when I was a kid, this is a kind of a weird story, but when I was a kid, my dad had like a thing of Playboys, like probably all fathers, they always hide their Playboys, and my dad like for some reason every Christmas, my mom. Okay, so there's a bit of a complicated story, but here's how the story works. Okay, so my dad every Christmas in his stocking, my mom would give him a Playboy. Okay,
Right.
it was like a thing that would, you know, and but
Hmm.
one year, uh, like I would always get a thing of comics, and he would get like this Playboy. She got the two because they were both like looked like cylinders. She got
Right.
them mixed up. I got the
Oh,
Playboy.
no.
He got the comics.
And
Okay,
you
so I'm
kept
like,
it, right?
I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I'm like 7 years old or something like that. I'm like, what
And
is this?
that is why you're into good girl art these days.
Yes, that explains my my
I
my
have a
my
book.
nature.
I have a book over here. Harvey Kurtzman has another claim to fame that
Oh, okay,
people don't realize. Oh,
okay.
excuse me. The very first issue of a comic book to have a letters page
Hmm.
had a letter from Harvey Kurtzman on it when Harvey was a teenager.
Oh, that's cool. So he's the first letter in the first letters
So,
page.
well, no, he's not the first letter. He's like 5 or 6 down,
But
but
I
he
mean,
was
well, he's
on
one
the
of the
first.
first letters
Yeah,
in the first
exactly.
letters page. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's a
And
claim to fame.
he did confirm later in life that he was that Harvey Kurtzman. So,
That's cool. I mean, there's a lot of ones like that where you'll find famous people in the letters
yeah.
pages.
Oh, I
People
know.
actually collect those things.
Roy Thomas wrote so many letters before he became big,
Yeah.
and it's amazing what you'll find.
Okay, one sec here. I'm gonna. Oh. Okay, one sec here. I'm not gonna show the sci-fi. Sorry, guys. There's a bunch of sci-fi ones. Okay, but I'm gonna show some crime suspense stories. Um, so this is crime suspense stories number 2.
Yes, it's nice. I love EC. You know,
Yeah, I actually like their trade dress. Of all the trade dresses, it's kind of the most iconic, I'd say.
and that is true. And I mean, it's obviously not the same, but the new EC at least is attempting the feel, and that's what I like
Yeah, a
about it.
little bit. Yeah. I wish they were kind of just stick with the old titles, but oh well.
Well, they didn't get the rights to them.
Yeah, that kind
They
of
got the
sucks.
right. All they got was the rights to the logo and the style.
Which is kind of dumb. Like I think I can think of so many other books that do it anyways. Like they don't.
They
I'm not
wanted
sure if they pay for the rights for it or whatever, but
Well, they wanted too much for the rights to the titles, and that's what happened. They
yeah,
weren't
it's kind
sure
of
how
dumb.
many they were going to sell.
This is
So,
a Johnny Craig cover, another famous EC artist.
yes, Johnny Craig is good.
So I'm working on like the complete run of crime suspense stories. I think I'm only missing 3 issues, and so this is one where almost like if you think of crime suspense stories number 20, it's the cover
Yeah.
where the guy is you just see the head and he's got his neck broken. This is
Yes.
almost like the next next thing where he's just walking around with his neck broken. But this is the case. It's not the same story, but it's this guy is like somebody that got hung, and this is the judge that hung him, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
Because of course, everybody's always getting revenge on the guys. What's the trope? The trope is the DA, the judge, and the foreman of the
crooked
jury.
DA. That
Yeah.
And then we got, this is another trope for horror in general, where you got the axe wielding maniac who just broke out of the asylum and he's gonna get you, and then you're like either it's like the couple in the car and they hear the news on the radio, or it's the people watching TV and they're talking about, be careful, there's somebody that just escaped from insane asylum.
The lunatic, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been down Highway 15 much from between Smiths Falls and Kingston, but there's a nice big sign that says "Do not pick up any hitchhikers," because it's right by Millhaven.
Oh, that's
and if you
cool.
see somebody out there in orange, you stay away from them.
Yeah. I think I have seen that. That's because that's Kingston, right? That's near
yes,
the big penitentiary.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's Millhaven. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got. I'm just going to show you my run of these. Crime Suspense Stories number 8.
Nice.
It's kind of brutal. This guy's it's really cool. He's just smiling as this other guy's freezing.
Now,
he's in the
judging by what you're holding. Yeah. Judging by the styles, they're all different artists, I guess, for the covers here. Where they didn't have,
this one is another. Is this Johnny Craig? Yeah, Johnny Craig. So a lot of these are Johnny Craig. Did a lot of the covers for Crime Suspense Stories.
You're frozen. Oh, there you go.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, we got another Johnny Craig cover. This one's a cool cover because you got the husband is killing the wife, but then the criminal kind of comes in. So what do you do as a criminal kind of situation?
If I was him, I would be bolting out of there because he just became a witness.
Basically, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of a cool
unless
one.
You're armed with a gun and you can shoot that guy.
Oh, so by the way, I was mentioning how EC also kind of followed that AMC thing.
Yeah.
ACMP thing. See, look, there it is.
Yes, I see that there. Yeah.
So as I said, they didn't really follow it very, very well or very long. That was number 8, and this is number 14. So not even much longer. It's they don't have it anymore. So yeah. And this is one of the more well-known covers. Another Johnny Craig, where it's the maniac.
Now that is probably one of my favorite covers from the run. It's just so he's staring at you, even though he's staring at the person. But it's like one of those stories on the inside. You do this, you do that. Next thing, and all you see are the hands because it's supposed to mean you.
Yeah, it's supposed to be you. Yeah, I mean they actually just recently reused this cover in the Blood Hunt series, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Okay, and this one is one I used to show a lot. Might as well show it again.
Nothing wrong with it.
So this is a great one. We got Crime Suspense Stories 24. But the cool thing about it is, you got your axe wielding maniac. He's about to, kind of chop up the body. But the bucket that they're using, you can tell has been used before. It's that's the scary part, that this is not his first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the old blood stains on it. That's kind of cool. And then we got Crime Suspense Stories 25.
Very nice.
Again, I believe these are all Johnny Craig.
Yeah, that looks like Johnny Craig.
Actually, this is a Kamen cover. Jack Kamen cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And one of the things that Steven always goes on about, and I'm going to give him credit, is Jack Kamen will always make it the blade curl.
Right. Yes, you're right. Yes.
So that's kind of a tell that it's Jack Kamen.
I really need to get my eyes checked. I really got to stop putting that up.
Okay, and Crime Suspense Stories only lasted 27 issues, and this is the last issue. So it's like a librarian. Cool. and she sees this guy behind the bookshelf.
That is awesome. I think we're going to wrap it up, Allan,
Okay.
because Halya is doing a giveaway, and I don't want to keep people here if they want to go over and
Okay.
catch that.
Check his stuff out. I
want to say thank you very much to everybody who joined us tonight. If you like what you saw, like, subscribe, smash that, smash the like button. Comment below if you need. Anybody who watches this later, you can always catch me on Allan's show on Friday nights, most Friday nights. And Allan, of course, does his Monday show, and he has a new video just about every day. Allan,
every day. It is every day.
Thank you very much for showing up tonight. We really appreciate it. That is one heck of a collection. I mean, you have a great collection there, but specifically those horror books you chose to show were absolutely great.
Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thanks again. My name is Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Night, everybody.
Bye-bye. All right.